Is your small business growing but you don't have an extra $250,000 or $300,000 laying around to hire a full-time CFO? Hello, my name is Nick. I'm a fractional CFO with Living Water Consulting here in the Metro East. I'm going to ask you is, do you really need a CFO or do you just need the right CFO? So what does a CFO actually do? Well, they drive profitability, not just report numbers. That's your accountant. They translate your financials into actual actions, meaning making decisions about pricing, hiring, or cash flow. Also, we build systems for scaling, like dashboards, cash models, and P&L reporting. So let me tell you about the problem, though, for businesses between $1 and $5 million, also known as the black hole. Well, a full-time CFO is going to cost between $200,000 and $250,000 a year with salary and benefits, which is really too big of a fixed cost for businesses under $5 million. However, without that CFO oversight, owners are really just flying blind and making gut decisions. Let's talk about the hidden costs also of a full-time CFO. First, there's recruiting and search fees, which is going to be between $25,000 and $50,000. Onboarding is going to be between 3 to 6 months, which means you're not going to be at full capacity either because you're going to be training them. And here's the big one is you went through the first two, you've got that completed. Now, the next day almost, they decided, well, this just really isn't for me. So, guess what? All that money just went out the window because that's not theirs. So your 1 year total is often going to be between $250,000 and $300,000 and 6 months just to get started. So what is a fractional CFO? Well, we're your strategic partner. We're part-time, but we're also on demand. We're focused on cash, profitability, and owner pay. We build repeatable financial playbooks like dashboards, 13 and 52-week cash models, and P&L reporting. We significantly reduce the cost of you getting CFO quality work to about 10 to 15% of a full-time CFO. And onboarding with Living Water Consulting is done in 30 days, not 3 to 6 months. So let's take a look at this, a fractional versus a full-time CFO. As we can see, the base costs are about 10% or so less. Onboarding and hiring, well, in 30 days you're going to have actual work that can be done versus 3 to 6 months just getting that person on board and prepared. So your total 1 year cost, again, between $24,000 and $36,000 to start, and versus a full-time CFO is $250,000 to $300,000 or more, plus that 3 to 6 months ramping up. Now, also too, systems built. A fractional CFO is meant for usually smaller businesses, as opposed to having a full-time CFO who is meant for larger enterprise type businesses. And so the fit for a fractional CFO, if you're between $750,000 and $5 million annual recurring revenue, then a fractional CFO is for you. Really, businesses over $10 million, that's when you're starting to get to a full-time CFO. So let's look at the return on your investment of getting a fractional CFO. Immediately, we ought to be looking at a pricing lift. So we ought to be looking at between $50,000 and $100,000 in profit. Payroll efficiency, your labor efficiency, and your margins ought to be better with a fractional CFO. And finally, unlocking that cash, looking to be fully capitalized with that 2 months of runway needed. Your business deserves CFO level clarity without the CFO level cost. Go to livingwaterconsulting.com/checkups and take one of our 3 or all 3 of our free checkups. And go to livingwaterconsulting.com right now where we're actually giving away one of 3 free Championship Financial packages to you, the small business owner, as a way to say thanks.